So as the clock ticks down to the president's big announcement on the next Supreme Court justice nominee, my next guest was once mentioned as a possible candidate for the nation's highest court. And here's what he said when asked about it.
What an awesome job. But I think, unfortunately, the way politics is now, once you have been associated with the political process, it's really hard to wash that off. It would take a long time. And I mean, I love the law. I love it much more than I ever loved politics. I love it, but I'm also not naive. If something changes in 10 years and a president called me, I would say, let me come help you come up with a list of people that would be really good, but don't put me on the list.
Here now, House Oversight Committee Chairman Trey Gowdy. Good to see you this evening, sir. Thank you for being here.
Yes,
you still feel that way? And what do you think about this process when you look at how political it has become?
Sad. I remember going home on lunch breaks to watch the confirmation process for other Supreme Court justices. I mean, that's how much of a nerd I am when it comes to these things. It's like the Super Bowl for me. I love the interaction between the senators and these really, really intelligent folks. But it's become so politicized. I mean, how many Democrats voted for Neil Gorsuch? 3? Ruth Bader Ginsburg won 95 to single digits. So the Democrats just have a different rule when it comes to Republican nominees. And, you know, Gorsuch should have won overwhelmingly. But it was, what, 10-vote margin?
54 to 45. You can almost see that number. And Kennedy was 97 to 0. So you can see that number just getting tighter and tighter as you go through this process. And it's very easy to imagine that this person could win or lose by 1 vote.
Particularly if Rand Paul is already announced, which just, I mean, I like Rand, but that just befuddles me why you would play into the Democrat playbook by already announcing who you're going to vote against.
Well, he voted against her in the last round, you know, just to clarify. He voted against her when she was up for the circuit court.
Hopefully something has changed, but what it really does when it's this tight, when it's 51-49 or 50-49, if somebody's in poor health, it makes every one of those 100 senators the decision maker. And that is just, I mean, can you imagine a more miserable existence than having those 100 bosses get to dictate what you do? So I feel sorry for the president, although this is the most important thing. We have gotten it wrong 5 different times that I can think of. Republican presidents nominating 5 folks, whether it is Blackmun, whether it's Brennan, whether it is Warren, whether it is Souter, whether it's John Paul Stevens, those are all Republican nominees that shocked us with their liberalism. You can't think of a single Democrat nominee that shocked you with his or her conservatism. So President Trump's first obligation is to not get it wrong like several of his predecessors did.
I mean, the buzz is that it's not Amy Coney Barrett. We could all be surprised and she could walk into the room tonight. We just don't know. But this exchange with Dianne Feinstein, Senator Feinstein, really disturbs a lot of people because it goes to the heart of whether or not you're allowed to be a religious person in the United States of America and sit on the Supreme Court. Watch this.
When you read your speeches, the conclusion one draws is that the dogma lives loudly within you. And that's of concern.
What do you think about that?
I think it is despicable, and I think if a Republican had said that, that person would have been vilified. First of all, I wouldn't want a religious faith structure that didn't influence every part of your life. On the other hand, the best judges have the humility and the restraint to follow the law. You are talking to someone whose religious views are very different on the death penalty than the fact that I had to seek it 7 times as the district attorney. So the ability to separate what you believe from a theological standpoint from actually doing your job, I think it's terrible that Dianne Feinstein asked that question, and she would not have asked it of a non-Christian. I can guarantee you that.
It's hard to imagine that she would have challenged someone on their Jewish faith or their Muslim faith in the same way, saying that, you know, they were clearly steeped in the dogma of either one of those religions. It was quite a moment. Thank you so much, Trey Gowdy. Always good to see you, sir. Thanks for being here tonight.
You too. Thank you.